Little heavy starting at Stony Island. 15 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Outbound 18 with a truck that was on fire on the right shoulder at King Drive. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our AM 560 Weather Center, our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy with a high at 68. Partly to mostly cloudy, maybe a passing shower or two late tonight, low 63. Cloudy tomorrow, could run into some morning showers, maybe a thunderstorm for the afternoon. High tomorrow, 72. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
61 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Friday morning, Amy Jacobson here. In for Dan Proft is John Anthony, host of Black and Right, which is Saturdays here on AM 560, The Answer, from 1 to 3 p.m.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm happy to be here, especially with Bret Baier coming on.
I know. Former police officer, former state rep.
Yes.
And now father of 5 and homeschooling. 6. Father of 6.
Help me.
Well, one's in college.
One's in college, yeah.
So you're homeschooling how many right now?
Well, 3, and I have 2 3-year-old twins. Yeah,
Ooh.
You heard that right. Help me.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This has been, and I have 2 boys, 15 and 16, and this has just been, it's been, you can't, I know people are so blessed that they don't have kids right now, but to go through what we're going through, it's not
And then driving,
fun.
Teaching our kids how to drive right now at the same time, too.
I'm trying to teach both.
That's why, you see the grays right there? That's why they're popping in a little harder.
My son has size 16 shoes.
Oh.
And so he's in the suburban minivan, even though I live in the city. And his feet are so big that it's hard for him to, and he's trying, but I like, let's go on Lakeshore Drive. Come on, you have to do Lakeshore Drive because we live at Ashland and Irving area. Yeah. And even with him turning right on Irving Park, I'm like, oh God. And I'm clenching my fist like, oh God. So you have to remember to breathe. Have you had any close calls?
When he turns, every time he turns, he either
too
accelerates, too wide. It's always wide.
It's always wide.
It's either accelerate or hard brake.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure Bret Baier doesn't. Our tale of woes. President Trump yesterday in Freeland, Michigan, quoting FDR and Winston Churchill.
America will prevail over the China virus. As Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. That's it. We're doing very well. As the British government advised the British people in the face of World War II, keep calm and carry on. That's what I did. This whack job that wrote the book, he said, well, Trump knew a little bit. They wanted me to come out and scream, people are dying, we're dying. No, we did it just the right way. We have to be calm. We don't want to be crazed lunatics. We have to lead.
And in a way, I mean, I knew when President Trump said everything is going to go back to normal by Easter, I knew that wasn't going to happen. But you know what? It gave me hope because I was already in panic mode. Yeah. I didn't need anybody to say, oh, everyone, your hair's on fire.
Right.
That would not have helped the psyche of the American people. So, he said he did that and said the virus wasn't as bad as it was because he didn't want to create panic.
But he wasn't the only one saying
that, though. The point of contention I have, who let him do that interview in the first place? Let's begin there with Bret Baier. He joins us now on our turnkey.pro answer line. Good morning, Bret. How are you?
Good morning. First, let me say size 16 shoes. Holy cow.
And he's 16 years old. He's eating me out of house and home, Bret.
Holy cow. Yeah, we haven't started the driving. I'm 13 and 10. So
you're going to blink, and then he's going to have his driver's permit, and then it's game on.
It's college.
And it's the worst. So, Bret, before we get to the news of the day, are you doing, is your wife doing any homeschooling or e-learning, or are your kids in school?
Yeah, no, they are at home with distance learning, and that is a challenge. I mean, it's a real heavy lift, and day after day, you know. I mean, fortunately, the school is very organized, and they've got a whole program, but I mean, woo, it's a lot.
It's my son. His headaches because he's sitting in front of the computer from 7:45 to 3:00, and they give him a half-hour break for lunch. And I'm like, get off your phone, get off your computer. So hopefully this madness will end soon. Because one of the former CDC directors said we're the only country in the world that is doing this. Wow. That we're the only where the teachers are so afraid and so fearful. You know, I can't teach from the grave, they keep saying here at CTU, our teachers union.
I get it. I get being afraid of it. However, if the grocery clerks and the stockers at grocery stores and the truck drivers are essential workers, why aren't teachers? Yes, the older, more vulnerable teachers should stay home and do distance learning or do some option. But that argument resonates with a lot of parents.
I know, my son works, he does a busboy at Zia's where they'll seat in one day 576 people. And he uses PPE, comes home, we wash his clothes, I sanitize the bottom of his shoes, and nothing has happened since June. Thank God. But if I see one of these teachers out, I have to stop myself like, oh, wait, why are you at Home Depot? I thought it was too dangerous for you to be outside and be around people. So hopefully, I mean, do you think this will end anytime soon, or as some people say, will end right after the November election?
Yeah, I heard somebody the other day said, I know exactly when it's going to end, November 4th. But listen, that's cynical, but there's some element to that this is the caution needs to be balanced. And, you know, all the folks who say follow the science, we should. And I think that overseas, they're kind of leading the way on getting kids back to school. We're starting to see the negative effects of having them home. Domestic abuse, child abuse, and loneliness, depression is affecting a lot of kids. So hopefully, we as a country get to the point where we can find a solution.
All right, Bret Baier, why and who convinced President Trump to spend 18 hours with Bob Woodward? I heard Meghan McCain yesterday on The View say, if Bob Woodward asked me what I had for breakfast, I'd not answer the question. I'd ask my advisor, why is Bob Woodward asking me for what I had for breakfast?
Exactly. No comment. I'm not talking about the cereal. I agree with you. It was a strange thing. The reason it happened was because of Donald Trump. I mean, the last book that Woodward did, his PR people didn't tell him that Woodward wanted to sit down with him for a long time because they wanted to keep Woodward out of the White House. He was upset that he was not told of that and wasn't a part of the process, apparently, and has had a lot of respect for Woodward. Well, by doing that, he just opened himself up. And, you know, anybody, any politician, any president who spends 20 hours with some reporter, somebody like Bob Woodward, you're going to step in it. And I think, you know, I heard your intro. He did. You know, what he was telling Bob Woodward at the time definitely was not what he was saying publicly. And I get that you didn't want to cause panic, but the difference between this is really serious and airborne, and it goes to young people and not just old people, and it's going to disappear. There are only 15 cases. It's going to go to zero, you know, and the disparity was huge. And the Biden campaign's jumping on that.
They are. Hey, Bret, and you know, I heard Dana Perino on the show yesterday give her take, basically saying when in the Bush White House, when they did do an interview with him, it was bad, and when they didn't do it, it was worse. So they wanted, so the Trump administration basically came and said, you know what, let's just go ahead and give it to him. I don't know if I would have done it for Bob Woodward though, based upon his track record of how he's done presidents in past time. What do you say about that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think every administration, Karl Rove said, every administration does a Bob Woodward book, and every administration regrets it. But you're right. If they don't do it, then there's some unnamed source who's a part of the administration who, you know, talks negatively about some aspect of it and becomes part of the book. I think in the big picture, as far as moving the needle, that the book is going to affect things for the short term, but we're 50, 4 days away from the election.
Silly season.
And I think over time, people are going to say this has been baked in the cake. I knew that Trump was sugarcoating it. I mean, he essentially said, I don't want the people to get off the ship in Miami, the cruise ship, because I like the numbers where they are. I mean, that's in April. You know, I mean, people know that that's what was happening. The question is, what did he do? And that is the decision that voters are going to have to make. What has happened? What actually happened versus what Donald Trump, the president, says and tweets, and the controversy and chaos that surrounds that.
Hey, Bret, but when you look at it on the flip side, the Democrats inviting people to the Chinatowns throughout America.
Mayor Lightfoot did that, and Dr. Awardi's like, oh, hey, Chinatown's open for business. They did the same thing that Nancy Pelosi did.
What's the difference?
Well, it's a big, the thing that the Democrats are saying is that, they want president. But if you look at the comments that were made, not only then, but really well into February, and, the events, and there's a debate that happens late in February, early March, where coronavirus isn't even brought up.
Yeah.
There are Super Tuesday. The Biden campaign says if the president, shut down the country 2 weeks earlier, it would have saved 54,000 lives. That's their estimate. Well, if the Biden campaign, if the president had shut down the country 2 weeks earlier, Super Tuesday would not have happened.
Right.
And Biden probably wouldn't be the nominee.
Oh, that's good.
Nobody was saying anything.
We had a March 17th primary, and my polling place was packed. Yeah. People were on top of each other. But Pritzker, who then 2 days later shut everything down, had to get that primary in because there was rumblings that our Cook County State's Attorney, Kim Foxx, was going to be indicted. So he wanted to make sure that people voted for her and that she didn't lose out in the primary and she kept her spot. So it's all political. Now, I want to ask you about Lindsey Graham. I heard that Lindsey Graham was instrumental in convincing Trump to sit down with Bob Woodward. Is that a rumor, or is there any truth to that?
No, he was asked that, and he said yes, he did. He told him to sit down.
That's not a friend.
So, I don't know. I think he thought that he had a good... He was told that Bob Woodward was doing a book about foreign policy, and the president had a good, story to tell. But, in the big picture, what happened is that the effort of Donald Trump to kind of think that he can win somebody over, I think doesn't work in this case, and is going to cost him, but I just don't know how much yet.
Hey, Bret, I'm going to tell you this. Donald John Trump will get 15 to 20% of the black vote. I'm a black Republican here in Illinois. And
he's an anomaly. No,
yeah.
No, actually,
unicorn.
I think there's more people joining the Republican Party because of all the civil unrest and Antifa and the BLM movement, which has really been instrumental in getting African American police chiefs from Seattle to Dallas to Rochester out of their jobs.
My mother's voting for Donald Trump. Never voted for a Republican in her life.
Really?
That's what's going to happen.
So what are you predicting? How many?
15 to 20%.
Okay.
That would be huge for the Trump campaign. I mean, even if it moved 2-3 points from the 8%, it would be a big deal in some of these states. So that's interesting that you say that. Obviously, the Trump campaign sees that movement, because if you remember in the Republican convention, there were a lot of black faces speaking about different aspects of Donald Trump. Herschel Walker, all of the Kentucky Attorney General, dealing with the aspects of not only the personal side of Donald Trump, but also what's happening policy-wise. So that's interesting you said that.
All right, Bret Baier, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Tell your wife, Amy, we said hello, and keep up with that e-learning. It's so much fun.
No sarcasm there.
I know, you should. Bret Baier, Fox News anchor and #1 best-selling author of 3 Days at the Brink, FDR's Daring Gamble to Win World War II. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick McDonald, co-founder of Configure One, the global leader in configure, price, and quote software for manufacturers, and a new customer of Signature Bank. Configure One recently came to Signature Bank for a loan under the Paycheck Protection Program after our previous business bank of 20 years left us out in the cold. When I called Signature, I worked directly with one of the founders of the bank, who assured me that my application would be submitted immediately. 1 week later, my loan was approved and funded, and I moved my entire banking relationship to Signature. Signature Bank is incredibly responsive, fully transparent, and a great partner for my business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You like that? I'm giving him my secrets of how I get into the lakefront.
Oh.
And don't tell him my secrets.
I won't.
Got a great night's sleep last night because of My Pillow. The pillow conforms to your neck and back, gives you the best sleep ever. You like the My Pillow, right, John?
Fight over it.
Oh, you fight. Well, why don't you just get your wife a My Pillow?
No, she does. I have the firm